Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming, and this is from the Depths campaign, and I am on the bridge of the SMS Vact, or however it's pronounced. Anyway, I'm calling it SMS Vact anyway. And that was a near miss. Yeah, I haven't updated the systems on these particular ships to avoid each other yet, but we'll look at that at a different stage. Anyway, before we totally crash with each other, the current state of play in the campaign is that we're gone back into this particular zone. Our Zeppelin is doing still doing some areas. Sorry, our Zeppelin, Zeppelin RS1 plane, but we do have now, there is a swordfish in this area. Now I'm not sure if it's going to come into our area, but we need to take this area here anyway. So this is going to be, I think, our first. Basically, can we take this swordfish? It's an airship or helicopter ship, depends on what you want to class it as, to be frankly honest. A helicopter ship, airship, but I think we need to take these areas. So what we're going to do is set ourselves up with the fleet. This is just our light cruiser or colonial abysso and 4 torpedo ships. Now this would be a test. Can we take on the swordfish? Swordfish isn't it's quite large. It's bigger than any of our vehicles. I mean, our vehicle's 23 and that's 44, and a river home is can I get the river home? Can't get that here. Oh, we've already destroyed the zone there. So I think we just need to take out the swordfish, and we can take over this square, which will be our next exercise. We'll leave the SMS Grutson. Actually, we're going to send him in. He's going to have supplies, so why not? Let's go for a full attack here, and done with it. I think that would be I wouldn't say a good plan, but it's a plan. So let's see what we can take now. They've gone out of visual area now because our plane is in a different, going for a different area now. Okay, well, we know it's there, so let's go into that sector and see what it takes to get into a battle with it. I think that's enough to be able to start the battle, so we'll go for the swordfish, and let's just click one. There we go. So I dislike the fact that they class. So okay, let's begin battle straight away. I dislike the fact that they are able to close in with us that quickly at the beginning. So let's go and have a look at the enemy first. So what have they brought in first? This swordfish. So we're going to see how our guns manage to take this out. We've got some. Oh, it's having a problem. Now really all we need to do is take out its propulsion, to be honest. These helicopter, if we can take out the helicopter blades with either our machine guns, and we've got so few blocks coming off of it. Oh, it's now dropped its bombs. Luckily we've got a fair bit of speed, so that's been helpful. I guess they're magnet bombs. Yeah, they're going for one of my torpedo ships. Hopefully that can get away. Now he's on the tail of our cruiser, but yeah, it looks like we have finally taken away some of those propellers. So in the air-to-air role with most of my ships, that's the priority, is make them lose control. Once they lose control, you should be able to then hit them with your main weaponry a little better, or at least they won't be able to attack efficiently, as is what's happening here effectively. Although he's now directly above us, which stops our main weapons. So this is mainly going to be all the machine guns from the torpedo boats. Although he's coming down now, and when he comes down, our 88s do get a chance to fire, which is good. Let's go and have a look from on the deck. Come on, guns! Fire! So our guns are firing nicely. Yes, yes. Well done. And you down there, chaps. Come on, I'm talking English. I'm not going to do a German accent. I'm going to sound like some corny, stereotypical... Yeah, we won't do that. Anyway, keep firing. Our guns are firing. Our front guns as well. Can we get around there? Can we? I can't remember how I can walk around my ship now. Yeah, oh well, yeah, I can go down here. Yes, I do like making walkable ships. That's the mess room, by the way. Yep, we can go around to the front guns as well. Yes, Titanic. You have to have a Titanic moment every now and again. Otherwise, what would it be like without being able to sit on the prow of a ship whilst blasting away at another ship? So anyway, that one's now done. I'm going to get back into my my safe area, I think. Thank you. Right, we should now have a river home somewhere, which should be a little bit easier. I don't think we've been up against a river home. Right, where's the river home? Where is it? Where is it? It's over that way. This away. One of our torpedo boats is close. It's going to be firing its torpedoes relatively soon, I'm guessing. Looks like one torpedo has already taken a toll. Being slow, this will be a bit of a torpedo bait. There's another, yep. They're coming in quite nicely. Although I'm using unguided torpedoes against slow ships like this, or ones that try to stay in one position, yeah, it works reasonably. One miss there, but you know, you can't have everything. He has got this very nasty habit of firing big missiles, and yeah, I think that torpedo boat came off worse because he hasn't got any stop running into me measures, which I have now put onto a lot of the other ships, just not these ones as yet. But those big missiles that come in, they do, yeah, a fair bit of damage, and that's taken out the engine room, I think. Oh, well, one propeller one side, so we got a little close for that. That's it's not good, but I'm hoping that the torpedo boats will be doing their damage. Where were they coming from? Ah, out of here. No, it's not out of there. Ah, there's the launchers. Yes, we've taken the big gaping holes out of the river home and continuing to with torpedoes mainly. Nice, and that's it. Now I think that will be it for that little battle, which means we can take the square. Are we done? Are we done? Yes. Excellent. So we can now, and our Grotson can go into the mining square, and what we're going to do is we're going to refit this to add some mining potential to it. Now it looks like we have got a vanguard, and we have got the village here with the airship house, and that needs a little bit of a different fleet, I think, because let's take this out of action now, make sure everyone's repairing. Excellent, good. Yeah, I think that needs a slightly different system, because yeah, it's on land. These are not any good, and not going to be any good at bombarding things, basically. So we're going to hold this fleet here as a defence for the Grotson, and we need to look at an alternative for taking out here. Now also, our Zeppelin here is okay in areas which are under our control, but outside of our control it's a bit of a problem. So what we're going to do is build some more ships at our home base of Kiel. So we've done some modifications to our Kiel harbour, and we've now got the ability to bring in our Zeppelins and our Zeppelin building system. So if we come in here, what we're going to bring in first, I think, will be our LZ1. So let's load in LZ1. So that's being built there now, and that will be our Scout Zeppelin, and that's going to be able to take over from the RS1 seaplane and get in a little closer to the enemy and also defend itself if need be. So we'll get that one up and running first, and whilst that's building though, we have got, yep, the Deepwater Guard are trying to get some a marauder to try and retake this area. So it looks like our high seas fleet will have to take on this marauder quickly just to clear out the area. I don't think I'll worry about showing this one. It should be pretty quick with our torpedo boats. And I was just looking at the release of the LZ1, which is our new scout ship, and putting that on a nice little area patrol, and we've got the attack of the flying squirrels. Oh, I hate the flying squirrels, and it's going for our Graf Grotzen. So we're going to have a look at the map, what's going on here. Yes, we have a flying squirrel just when we were capturing the area, so I'm going to attack it with our high fleet squadron. Now we've got plenty of size here, it just depends what it will take to hit a flying squirrel. Can we hit it? So yeah, hopefully, I'm guessing yes. Just with sheer volume of weaponry going out. Let me turn off those areas. But these flying squirrels are annoying, let's put it that way. They have got missiles, and as you can see, they are very erratic in their movement. There's only one of them, but those missiles, we don't have any missile defences, but luckily their missiles are not really that well aimed. Oh, I think we've done some damage to it because it's gone into the water, which is unusual. So I'm guessing we've done a little bit of control damage, which is exactly what I'm after. Do a bit of damage to the control so it goes into the water and then is bait for the normal weaponry. That's the hope. And we are still firing at it, and yes, got it. Excellent. It worked. It wasn't nice. It wasn't accurate and ideal, but we survived the flying squirrel. Now I've got to go back to capturing again this square. Okay, go back to the square and carry on capturing. That was right in the middle of my capture process. Anyway, whilst that's happening, let's go and have a look at the LZ1 Scout, which I'm sure if you saw my previous video on this, you'll know what it is about. So we'll just bring it into play. So this is my Scout Zeppelin, which were used by the Kaiserliche Marine for scouting and checking out various items. So it is historical. Obviously shape is not 100% historical, but and this is armed with various simple weaponry to at least have some defensive ability on its own. If we have a look, it's we can't see the area it's scanning at the moment. It looks like it's quite large, which is good, and we're going to put it on a very forward patrol area. Because it can defend itself, it'll be a little easier. And it looks like we've got something else coming in. We've got a vanguard. I think the Grotzen will be able to do that. I need to capture this area. I think is more important at this moment. But the other thing we need to do, I think, is find find something more suitable for attacking this village, and I think that's going to require a little bit more air force, or potentially I think another Zeppelin specifically to go into this area. And while sorting out our next little fleet, the Vanguard actually didn't come and attack our freighter in the mineral zone. It actually tried to capture this zone. So I'm going to use the Scout ship to try and defend and take out this Vanguard. Should be a pretty quick battle, but I just want to see if it will actually be able to attack as such and take it out. It has got arms, so where is that ship? There it is. He's down there. Is he taking damage? Just make sure I've not got any guns. Nope, not on the guns. Luckily it's only a Vanguard, but it just showed that even a small little ship like this, if uncontested, will take one of your areas out. And I'm firing my little guided torpedoes. This does have guided torpedoes on it on the main video. I explained I couldn't get free falling torpedoes that were just aimed with a one turn to work properly, unfortunately. So they are homing torpedoes, which, to be honest, for you playing the game and not having your own little rules, that's fine. Me, I like the idea of having period specific weapons, and homing torpedoes weren't really around until later part of the World War II. Then you did get acoustic homing and magnetic torpedoes. Actually, magnetic torpedoes did appear a lot earlier on, trying to use a magnetic fuse, as the Americans found out with their torpedoes, which are rather unsuccessful for most of the war, until they actually did do some testing, which they hadn't before, and found that their magnetic fuses were crap and badly set. Bad testing philosophy, as well as being cheapskates. Anyway, luckily in this game you can do testing and it's free except for time. So yeah, I think we've got this. Although our guns aren't brilliant, torpedoes are taking it out slowly, and we should be taking this zone back and stop them capturing it rather soon. And having the Zeppelin, there we go, having this the LZ-1 continuing to patrol this frontier will stop any other little ships coming in to attack us. So whilst we're between little battles, I just wanted to show what I have done with our cargo ship in the mining area. I've just refitted it to be a minor version with a little steam engine down there, producing power enough to for all of these mining pipes, for one of a, is that the right word? Anyway, all these mining parts. That one's not turned on for some reason. Anyway, there we go. And that should now stay in this zone and mine away, basically building up resources which it can then take back to the main zone. And that's what it's going to do basically each time, is go into the area, fill itself up, take it back to base. And that's the process I'm doing. I think now it looks like we've got a Prowler coming in. That's going to be more of a problem for us. Okay, let's get on to the next section. And whilst setting up the next section, our high seas fleet has got blockaded by a Prowler. So this will be a somewhat more difficult opponent. Prowler's quite a powerful ship, but again it is slow, so let's hope that our ships will be able to take it. So we're going to come in, well, we might as well just come in full force, full beans. He can bring his ship in because he's only got one, and we're bringing all of our ships. And I just realised I've forgotten to change one thing in my options, but we'll talk about that in a minute. let's hope this is as successful as all the other battles. So first time against a bigger enemy ship, the Prowler. And we'll go and have a look at the Prowler whilst we're taking. There's a load of crams coming in there. Let's just... Yep, lucky that first salvo missed. Now, he has got a lot of missile firing, and as I've said before, we don't have any defences against missiles, but I'm more worried about these big old crams hitting, because if they do hit, they will make a serious dent in the ship, especially at close range, and he fires quite a few of them, as you can see coming in there, and it doesn't help when our ships keep colliding. Anyway, luckily a bit of a hit on the bow, which isn't problematic, although that one could have hurt a lot. Really need that torpedo boat to start firing their torpedoes out. Looks like we've got a few incoming, and we have some. You can see the tracks where some of them have gone past, but come on guys, get on target. He has also got missile torpedoes, which are going to be doing a bit of damage to us as well. I don't know if they're guided or unguided. They look unguided at the moment. Just missed me. Now luckily he's slow, so our torpedoes will hit and do some damage, which is good. But how are we doing? The SMS effect has taken some damage, and it's going to do some more with these, because it's going to ram again. Yeah, ship avoidance, totally optional in this game, apparently. I will have to update them, I think, before long, just to put some control blocks on there, so if it detects something in front, turn. Now the Prowler, will it actually avoid the land as well, because it's heading towards land by the looks of it, which is not good for it if it ends up on the land. But yep, come on torpedoes, do your job. He's sending out some quite big torpedoes, but as I say, I think they're unguided, luckily. Although they are aiming at our cruiser, as long as he turns, which he has, they shouldn't hit. It's like World of Warships. If you just go straight and level, you will get hit by torps. But luckily, and we are repairing, which is also very good. And our torpedo boats are... Ooh, one's taken a fair bit of damage there. Yeah, got in the range of those little small missiles that it fires out. Although unguided, you're gonna... Yeah, close range, even the crams can't miss. But yeah, he's got some... Where are they? Unguided missiles. They've been taken from this side, but these ones here, these small missiles, at close range, they can add up to a fair bit amount of damage against you. And as the sun sets, I think he's just about without much power now. Now his crams are still coming in and doing some damage to our torpedo boats, but in return we are sending out quite a few torpedoes against him. He has a little bit of propulsion left. Oop, there goes the propulsion. And I think there goes the ship. Yippee, okay. I was a little worried there, because Prowler's a reasonable ship, but our little fleet did manage it. I think if there was more ships, we would have started having problems, but obviously the Prowler we're proof against. That's good. So another little buggy or annoying part of the current battle system, I don't know if it's a bug or just annoying, is my fleet here has set from previously a waypoint, so the high seas scout squadron should be moving back to this position, but the main flagship is now stationary, and to make it move back to where I want, I've got to click here again, then it starts moving, so it doesn't return to its previous ordered point. Yeah, annoying. It means you've got to constantly, if you had more fleets involved, you'd have to constantly be having to put them back in position all the time. Yeah, not a major problem, but it is a problem, if that makes sense. It's more of an annoyance than a problem. Anyway, let's get on and destroy some more areas.
Receiving.
And before we start our next little battle, something I forgot to do in after the last couple of captures was to increase my challenge. So I think I took over 2 squares, so that's put that up by 0.5, or up to 0.5. I think that's correct. So that is something I forgot to do last time. Let's resume. So next we have a little battle going on, and we're going to take over the fleet here, and what I've got is another little special Zeppelin and also High Seas Air Group, which we'll have a look at as well what I when it's in battle. So first of all, let's initialize this battle here to take over this the air gantry village. Is it a village? Is it a town? I'm going to call it a village. And we're at the Air Seas Group. Now I want the LZ2 at the top, and we'll put these in, and then that at the top. I know you can use the wand, but I think someone else said about it. I'm not 100% happy with the way this works. Also, how do we tell? There's no indication on the menu at the top left as to which ones of these will spawn in at the side. I know it does it with the stars, but when you've got quite a few ships you can't always see. Now what I want to do is should we have the Oswald spawn in as well? We obviously need ours, and those we'll leave it like that for the moment. So I think most of the ships will spawn in. Let me just get myself on the ship and begin the battle. So this is the LZ2. Now the LZ2 is not a Scout Zeppelin. It is significantly bigger than the previous Scout Zeppelin we had, and there we have the enemy fort, and this is particularly a bomber. We have got armaments here. Let me just make sure. I just want to make sure we're on an attack vector. Yep, we're on an attack vector. It's got some upgraded weapons underneath, and similar sort of complement of small weaponry underneath, but it's also got cram bombs, which are going to be interesting once it gets within range. This is also made a lot more out of metal. The central, shall we say, belt here is actually metal angles and alloy rather than being the simple plates. So it's got plates in there, but we've also got some slopes, or metal plates. So we're coming in for an attack run here. I'm hoping we will see a little bomb attempt when it goes for the aerial bombing. There we go. Some nice little cram aerial bombings fired out in 2s. Yeah, I mean, it really goes through things quite well when it attacks a single point. Other aircraft we got up here. What have we got up here? This is the J8 bomber. So it's based upon the Junkers bomber. Basically drops magnet mines. Yeah, they're gonna do a sort of nice little job. Based on the Junkers 8 air, monoplane fighter, which was then produced as the J8 ground attack. Although it didn't have anything about actual bombs, there was a CL1 which was a float plane version, so in some ways it's historically correct for this time, etc. And I've got 2 of those in the area, also adding some bomb effect into the battle. Now over here we've got a couple of aircraft which have decided, these are the fighters, so these are the Hans Branner W-33 fighters. So these, was it it was either Hans Brandenburg or Hanna Brandenburg, were quite renowned for building seaplanes, and they built quite a few seaplane fighters. Now, one interesting thing about their seaplane fighter design is the rear tail, as you can see, is underneath the main body section rather than sticking out the top, and that gave the rear gunner a nice, basically, field of fire to fire backwards, which was obviously useful. So anyway, we got our Zeppelins going to be doing some bombing runs, and it has 2 oops, bit of a pause there. I guess something's spawned in. Our Atlas gantry has spawned in. So it's got 2 AIs. One is a aerial bombing AI, and the second is a circle AI. So if the target is not slow and low, it will circle and use its guns. If it is slow, it will try to go over the top and blow the crap out of it. And we're getting hit by that Atlas. That Atlas has got some nasty flat guns, but hopefully we'll be able to stand up to some of this with our improved armour. We'll go and have a look at the Atlas over here that has spawned in. It looks like actually we got rid of most of the other vessels, so it's just the gantry and this Atlas left to take out. So the Atlas, despite having a few balloons of dubious value, is actually a helicopter ship rather than being an airship. It's not being held up by helium like ours, it is being held up by these propellers, but that does mean we hit the propellers, as they are being hit. As one gone, and it will lose control and stop, basically it'll fall out of the sky basically. It's got some nasty flat guns actually. These flat guns can do a fair bit of damage. I'm not sure if we're going to get a bomb. No, I don't think we got a bomb release on that one. Don't see any crams coming down. Although actually the crams may have fired at this because of its spread out design. This gantry can be a pain to blow up. I'm actually hoping the bombers will come in and take this out. But we might have to wait until the Atlas has been. Oh, that seems to hit something vital. I'm guessing that was a ammo storage. Our bombers are coming in now, and we also have, I think we have the Oswald. Let's go and have a look at the Oswald. So this is the SMS Oswald. So to supply the float planes, the Kaiserliche Marine took over a number of merchantmen and redesigned them, and I'll put a picture up if I've got it, of the SMS Oswald, and was one of these which was taken over and redesigned to be a seaplane tender, and they were put out at various points to either act as scouts for the fleet in various areas as a long-range scout process. So again, I've done something sort of based upon historical systems. Let's go back to the main battle. They did, it's like a precursor to aircraft carriers. I mean, there was a few catapult-based seaplane tenders that were post-World War I created, but obviously they didn't actually come up with any aircraft designs until they got into the KMS Zeppelin, which obviously you get in World of Warships, etc. And there was actually an Italian aircraft carrier that was taken over by the Germans, and they were in the process of trying to get that operational when Italy, but basically was taken over, which is something that isn't always known. Again, almost worked, but they didn't quite get it up and running in time to do anything of any use. And our bomber is going to fire again. Come on, fire. You don't fire? You don't fire? You're not going to fire. You're going to fire with that one instead. Come on. Oh, there we are. We have fired at the Atlas, and let's see what these things do here. See, yeah, they go through. They really go through ships. They're quite high penetrating shots, and you got 6 of them hitting in a reasonably small area. I did increase the dispersion of the bombs on some of them, so some of them are tight and then they get a little bit bigger to hit a wider area, but they still tend to go through anything which is stationary, let's say. But hopefully, well, one bomber is down. Unfortunately, excuse me, mate, you're down. You're not flying. You're supposed to be the other way up. He's still firing though. Look, he's having a go. Unfortunately, because it's designed for the sea, the control blocks for the balloons are set at sea level, not land. So anyway, it's only these are actually only cheap. These are very cheap ships. Yeah, 4,500. I think the other ones are only about roughly about the same. Looks like some of my other planes have taken a bit of a beating. Well, it's annoying they're not coming out, and he's taking the land approach. Okay, fair enough. That's one way through, I guess. And a good little bomb run came through on the gantry, and that's the end of this little village, and we can basically set our Zeppelin, I think, to take over another little square with the deep water guards territory. And we have finally captured that square after quite a few attempts by the enemy to take it from us. So we're going to put the LZ2 in a position to defend these zones. And what I'm going to plan to do is the high seas fleet is going to start going north and capturing all the squares it can above, hopefully. Although I think potentially the Onyx Watch has already captured this zone, but I'm going to whiz through it into this other zone here. And we've got targets coming in. What have we got there? We have a Wander, and we've got this Marauder. Now I'd like to see if our fleet here, our high seas group, can take on this Marauder, because we haven't seen their torpedo bombers in action. So I'm going to give that a little go, just to end this particular session, and we'll sort out the Wander next time. So let's just hopefully get in range to be able to attack. And to get the battle about equal, I did bring in my Zeppelin as well against this Wander. Again, another helicopter ship by the Deepwater Guard. Got a very big APS gun down the centre, which could do a fair bit of damage to us, which could be nasty, but luckily I think we've taken out some of his propellers, which has obviously made it a little bit more difficult for him to do anything against us. The air fleet is also being brought in, the hope being that they will be able to take out the Marauder when it comes in. So currently the fighters and I guess the bombers are heading over towards the Wander, but the torpedo bombers are holding because they don't have anything that they're detecting as being in combat for them. They have a couple of control blocks that say don't attack unless it's basically fairly close to the ground. So the aircraft has now has found a suitable target, basically within -10 to 20. So this is the Gotha, which was a float plane. Gotha did build a few float planes as reconnaissance and torpedo bombers. So this is the WD-14 from memory. Let me just check. WD-14. So it was a torpedo bomber, and I've put a couple of fairly large torpedoes on the bottom of this. They are homing torpedoes because once again we do have a problem with unguided torpedoes deciding to fly up into the air in general. Find a picture of this. It's got a nice little twin tail, which does help with the rear gunner a little bit. And it's fired its torpedoes off. Let me come off of this ship now and find out where we are. We should have some torpedoes coming into here now. And yeah, they're doing a nice bit of damage on that Marauder. And we should have the bombers coming in, dropping some bombs as well. A little bit late with their bomb drop actually. May have to fix that, but it doesn't matter too much. And also the... Yep, there's a Zeppelin coming in. He moved just as some of the shells hit. Pity there isn't a setting that says shoot in the middle. But then again, I suppose people would just build ships which were a circle, a donut, with a hole in the middle, so you'd miss. Yeah, anyway. Reminds me some of those ships where, in some of the tournaments, where people made like a structure, so it was mainly empty space joined up with the guns, and did reasonably well until people worked out how the best way to modify the target point to work against them. But yeah, we got torpedo strikes coming in, which is good. So the torpedo bombers basically keep on going in and out, firing their torpedoes. Looks like a few of them are having a bit of a controls problem over there. And then we got the bombers coming in, dropping their mines effectively on them as well. Again, a little bit high on their system. May have to have a little rework of those at some point, but they're cutting through this Marauder as expected. So area has been defended. We need to set our ships to go back to their starting positions, because as I've said before, they don't tend to, if they reach their position, they don't return. Plans for next one. So that's the end of this particular session. I think we've got enough video to edit here, and I think what I will plan to do is the high sea squadron will shoot through here and try and take up these upper squares before the Onyx watch gets them all, and the air group with the Zeppelin will make their way across, taking the land zones, because obviously the land zones will be easier to navigate, less chance of running aground, and we'll see what it takes to get to the end. So far everything has performed okay, even within my little rule sets. The weaponry seems to work. I'm not overpowering any of the missions really too far, I don't feel. Yeah, it's a sort of evenish type of system, and everything, even using basic weaponry, it works. I would like to then look at some more powerful fleet. We need to start thinking about Kiel, once it's built up some more materials, actually building a more substantial fleet system. So we're going to look at some larger vessels to potentially come in and create rather than the scout group, we'll bring in the true high seas fleet, the main fleet for our group for this little section anyway, for this time, and see how they go, because we're going to have some more battles coming up, a little harder. Did I increase the actually, did I increase the challenge? I didn't. Sorry, let's put that up to 0.6. There we go. That has now been done. I must remember to do that each time I win a square against a deep water guard. So I don't know what's going to happen when I take this high sea squadron through to here, if the Onyx watch is going to have a problem with us. At the moment they're allied to us, so yeah, I think we shouldn't have any real problem against them if we do a minor little incursion into this area. I prefer to capture this, but I can't because we're friendly for the moment anyway. So until next time, let me know down below any sort of ships you'd like to see built, or if you've got some ideas about the campaign system, let me know. But as always, keep playing the game, and importantly, have fun.